On October 7th, Hamas, the governing body of the Gaza Strip, sent soldiers through a barrier along the border to inflict the deadliest attack on Israel's soil since 1948. In the ensuing days, thousands have died as the situation evolved into a potential humanitarian crisis in one of the most densely populated regions on Earth. In this video, we're going to explore the historic reasons behind the current conflict between Israel and Hamas. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Funday Investigation. I'm your host, Wade. To grasp the complexity of this ongoing crisis, we must look back at the end of World War II, when millions of Holocaust survivors resettled in the region. In 1947, the UN mandated two separate states, Israel for Jews and Palestine for Arabs. However, many Arab states never accepted this arrangement. When Israel declared itself an independent state in 1948, Egypt, Iraq, Transjordan, and Syria tried to intervene. However, Israel was able to defend itself, and in turn expelled 700,000 Arabs from the newly founded Jewish state. In 1964, the Palestinian Liberation Organization, also known as the PLO, was formed. This secular organization aimed to topple Israel and form a state for the displaced Arabs in the region. However, in 1967, Israel launched a preemptive attack known as the Six-Day War, which put the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, which were both formerly independent Arab territories, under Israeli control. For 2 decades, Israel believed that Arabs had resigned themselves to live under military rule. But in 1987, the First Intifada broke out, an uprising in which Arabs displayed their years of resentment by pelting their occupiers with stones. Before the First Intifada, most Islamic groups in the West Bank and Gaza were not interested in armed conflict and sought to reform society through religious practice. The founder of Hamas, the entity that is now leading the current offense against Israel, originally gained influence by providing social services. However, the organization slowly turned violent as the secular arm of the PLO, called Fatah, engaged in peace talks with Israel. Hamas started conducting terrorist and rocket attacks around the time Fatah signed the 1993 Oslo Accords. This peace agreement gave the PLO a semi-autonomous authority in the West Bank and Gaza in the form of a representative government, but angered Hamas because the accords established mutual recognition between the Israel and the PLO. In response to Fatah's negotiations, Hamas helped spearhead the Second Intifada in 2000. In contrast to the First Intifada, thousands were killed in terrorist attacks and ensuing Israeli counteroffensive. Growing resentment over increased Israeli violence pushed Arabs to vote for Hamas during the 2006 PLO parliamentary election. Hamas won more seats than Fatah, which resulted in an armed conflict between the two factions. In the end, Hamas took control of the Gaza Strip, and Fatah started governing the West Bank. Subsequently, Israel blockaded the Gaza Strip, which has been a factor in turning the region into one of the most impoverished places on Earth. Since Hamas took control of Gaza, there has been intermittent skirmishes due to the ongoing issue of the long-term solution to Palestinian statehood. In 2014, there was even a 50-day war between Hamas and Israel. However, the current conflict is much more intense, with Israel nearly dropping more bombs in the mere several days than it has over the past 15 years. The Israel-Palestine conflict remains a deeply entrenched and multifaceted issue with no quick or easy solution. As the world watches, there is a growing call for diplomatic efforts to de-escalate the situation and address the root causes of this long-standing conflict by finding a suitable two-state solution for the Arabs and the Jews of the region. What are your thoughts on this ongoing war? Do you think a two-state solution is possible? Let us know in the comments section, and I look forward to our next discussion.